Welcome on the show, Plus Sports on PlusTvAfrica on a rainy Thursday. My name is Wally Scott. Mukail Tinubu, good morning. Good morning. Let me go to the first story first and then we'll discuss the other issues. Now, the Lagos State Sports Commission has said that tickets for Friday's 2022 World Cup qualifier between Nigeria and Liberia will not be sold to the general public. The Super Eagles play the Lone Stars in their opening quarter 2022 World Cup qualifiers at the Teslim Balogun Stadium on Friday, with only 5,000 fans allowed into the match venue by the Confederation of African Football. Now, speaking ahead of the LSSC chairman, Shola Ayekweku, said the commission would ensure a hitch-free game, adding that sports body would adhere strictly to COVID-19 protocols. According to him, fans will be allowed to the stadium strictly by invitation. Now, Mukaila was speaking with the media officer, and he sent me an itinerary of the players, and it says there are 29 players in camp already. They are having their COVID tests right now as we speak. They will go for their gym fitness at 10:30 a.m. today. The match is tomorrow. But he also said all the journalists that are expected have already been accredited. Only 38. Print media and TV. Broadcaster, and only 38. And they've already all been accredited already.
Yes.
So we are going to have to look for a way to smuggle ourselves into that stadium eventually tomorrow.
Well, unfortunately, because of the state of affairs in the country, around the world, the pandemic, it's essential that they need to control the population of invites to the stadium and to cover the match. Unfortunately for fans, that doesn't help because a lot of fans want to get back into the stadiums to watch Nigeria and cheer them on at such a critical time in our qualification process. So it's unfortunate, but I understand that it's something they have to do. Hopefully we will smuggle ourselves in.
My fear is the last time it was not even a match. It was just training. And we have seen people trying to get into the stadium, going through the fence. Now, Surulere is a football abode,
yes.
you know, and football is the only opium we have in Nigeria, you know.
Yes.
So it's going to be a huge task, heinous task, for the security agencies to stop these people from coming to watch this game.
Yes, football is actually the most unifying thing
That's
in
all
the
we
country.
have.
It cuts across religion, tradition, tribal tensions. It's one thing that everyone needs at a time like this to bring us closer together. It's unfortunate that the kind of situation that we're going through right now makes it impossible for everyone to enjoy it live. But we hope that it gets better.
Hopefully, it'll get better. Of course, don't forget the Nigeria will host the Lone Stars of Liberia tomorrow at the Teslim Balogun Stadium. Now, Team Nigeria lost the game on Wednesday, but gained a medal to the bargain at the 2020 Paralympic Games in Tokyo, bringing the top games haul to 7 medals. Nigeria lost 2-0 to Australia in the semi-finals of the men's team class 9 to 10 event of the table tennis competition. In the doubles game, Tajuddin Agumbiade and Alabiolufemi lost 3-1 to Australian pair Marlin and Joel Coughlin. After losing the first set, 12-10, the Nigerian team fought back to win 10-8, only to lose again 12-10, again in the third set. Australia will go on to face China on Friday in the final after the Chinese beat Ukraine 2-0 in the other semi-final fixture. Nigeria now have 3 gold, 1 silver and 3 bronze medals from the games with just 4 days to the end of the competition. Now the games end on Sunday, Mukail. Altogether, we can boastfully say these guys have made us proud. Yes, compared to Rio, we have lesser medals for now, but there's still 4 days, 3 days to go.
Yes.
It ends on Sunday, so anything can still happen.
Yes.
The last games, they had 10 gold, 2 silver, and 2 bronze medals. Now they only have 7 medals for now, but there are still 2 days to go.
It's, I'm still comfortable with the haul of 7 because a lot of our athletes this time around are older I mean, with these competitions, we're seeing 60-year-olds competing. We're seeing 50-year-olds competing. We're seeing as high as 65-year-olds competing. So it doesn't. We've talked a lot about the investments being put into our sports, and when you consider that these athletes, handicapped as they are, they're bringing in gold, they're bringing in silver and bronze. The kind of resources that is needed now is to prepare for the next generation.
True.
And unfortunately, we're still kind of screaming into the wind about this. So we hope that for many of them who won't be returning for the next competition, we hope that the next tournament will bring forth new talented athletes to represent the country.
Is it the GOAT or not? Is it the GOAT or not? We don't know. Cristiano Ronaldo became the all-time leading scorer in men's international football when he held two last gasp goals to give Portugal a 2-1 comeback victory over Ireland in Group A of the World Cup qualifiers on Wednesday. The Manchester United forward could have even had a hat-trick, but instead saw Calvin Bazoum, Manchester City loanee, save a first-half penalty after Jeff Hendrick was deemed to have fouled Bruno Fernandes. Now, John Hagen headed Ireland into a shock lead from a corner on the stroke of half-time after Diego Jota had hit the post for the hosts. Who can stop this guy?
His appetite for breaking records is unmatched. He's his own best motivator. He grants himself the permission to go and do impossible things. The fact that he scored both goals by headers tells you he's an all-round player who can do it from any point on the pitch. He can shoot from outside the box, he can tap in, he can score with both feet, he's strong on the ball, and even though he's older, when he wants to get into the game, when his mindset is ready, he can dribble through a defense and still score goals, even at 36.
I've seen Ronaldo play for Real Madrid, and he scored a goal. I was cocksure. This guy stood still, stopped in the air. As in, he literally just stopped there.
His hang time is ridiculous, and we usually only say hang time with basketballers. It's like everything he does, it's like a patented move. The way he hits his free kick is like he went into the locker room, went into training, and thought to himself, nobody else is hitting it like this. Nobody else has my physique, nobody else has my strength, so I'm going to hit what works for me. The way he jumps, the way he sprints, everything he does is unique to him.
I think the lesson to be learned from Ronaldo is that he puts almost too much passion into his play.
Yes. I mean, it would be one thing, many people say he's arrogant, many people say he's self-absorbed about his own records, but when you watched the match, he didn't jump for joy and remove his shirt and go crazy until he knew that his second goal had sealed a win for the nation. Yeah. So he's more concerned. For me, I've always said that goals are the way Ronaldo measures his impact for the team. And he wants to always have an impact for the team. At the end of the day, he is a team player.
I have seen when Ronaldo played for Portugal, he got injured. In fact, he broke his leg. And then he was told to go to the hospital or go into the room. He refused to go. No. Okay, at least sit down. He refused to sit down. He just stood with his leg hanging like that. And
he's a passionate player who wants to win every match. Most other players, which is why he and Messi have defined this entire generation. Most other players, you give them a chance to go back to the locker room and still knowing fully well that they're still going to get paid at the end of the week. They will take it. Ronaldo works so hard, he has never had a serious injury. He has never been out for more than 2 weeks at any given time.
Most, yeah.
Yes. And when you think about at 36, when Ryan Giggs retired at 40, from the moment he was about 34, 30, going on towards 40, his game time was so drastically reduced. Ronaldo refuses to play anything less than the amount of games necessary to bring his team victory.
Yeah. Novak Djokovic took a first unsteady step towards completing the calendar year Grand Slam on Tuesday as the Serb labored into the second round of the US Open with a 6-1, 6-7, 5-6-2, 6-1 win over dashing Danish teenager Helge Rune. On paper, the contest was a total mismatch. An 18-year-old qualifier making his Grand Slam debut against the player just in the 21st major title. Former champion Sloane Stevens' deadly forehand sealed fellow American Coco Gauff's 6-4, 6-2 in the second round of the US Open. The pair appeared evenly matched early, but the 17-year-old Gauff handed Stevens a critical break with a double fault on the last point in the ninth game and never regained the momentum from our 28-year-old opponent. It always hurts me, personally, when Gauff loses. I'm a big fan.
She's been highly rated since she burst onto the scene. But obviously, she still has a lot to learn, going up against a lot of really good females. Because as I had a conversation with Sean yesterday, in the females section of tennis, there's no real one strict number one at this point.
True.
Because no one has won back-to-back Grand Slams in the last year or two. So we're looking at a field that is oversaturated with so much talent that the youngsters really need to claw
Their way through,
yes. So we'll see how far she goes. But
well, before I go to the story, I have nothing against the LGBT community. No, nothing. Absolutely nothing. My brain just can't comprehend it. I have nothing against it. World number 2, Danil Medvede, believes that if a player on the ATP tour were to come out as gay, he'll be supported by his peers. He spoke yesterday, a day the US Open host their first ever Pride Day. Medvedev, who earlier booked his spot in the third round with a straight sets win over German Dominik Kiefer, believes all the players will be very supportive. More sportsmen are coming out of the closet to say, come, I'm gay, and I think what Danil is trying to say is, if anybody comes out, or if you are still there in the closet there, come out. You can come out if you want to now.
Lucky for many, tennis is not a team sport. These players aren't really sharing locker rooms like football or basketball. So the level of discomfort some people might feel that, I'm sharing a locker room or shower area with someone who might be sexually attracted to me. All of those fears, and it might be illogical, but it's the reason why we have separate bathrooms. A man wouldn't necessarily rape a woman just because they share the same shower.
True that.
But it does happen, and that kind of fear does exist.
Yeah, I think it's very obvious that if you come out openly gay and you are in a football team or something,
yes,
the guy might not be comfortable trying to take a shower.
Yes, and in sports there are liberties taken by men, slaps on the butt, more comforting than the general public of men are used to. Men hardly hug in general society, but when it comes to sport, there's so much emotion going on that they let their guard down and they do hug and they do give each other pecks on the cheeks. So, but when considerations start coming into, did that peck mean something? Did that slap on the butt
mean something?
And then that's a problem. So, but we do hope that in sports that we do appreciate and respect people's lives, choices, the way they're born, the way they are, and just treat them as human beings.
China takes the medal haul.
Sports is a combination of will, perseverance, bravery, stepping up and knowing that you're going to defy the odds. The Olympics it captures that perfectly.
True.
And it's always exciting. It sends tingles down all of our spines. Most of us, we pick a sport and we stick to it. Those who only care about golf, mostly only care about golf. Those who typically love sprinting and track and field, only care about that. And others who just want to watch football or hockey or whatever, only care about that. But when it comes to the Olympics, you see the passion, knowing that these sets of events are plentiful and everyone can get a feel of what they really came for and still appreciate other sports and the perseverance and strength that it takes to triumph in those other events. So it's been truly a pleasure this year having the opportunity to watch the Olympics
Again.
and Paralympics.
Wow.
The fact that we had to postpone it, it would have been a welcome relief last year if we had had just that to preserve, but it is what it is.
That's what it is. Mukail Tinubu, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Tobi Olushola, thank you very much. Of course, that's all we can take on the show today, Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa. My name is Wally Scott. Like I always advise you, at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your heart, do some sports.